So I got a Bob Dylan story. It's from 1997 when he was making his Time Out of Mind record with Daniel Lanois. I had a friend from my hometown, and I met him in Los Angeles, and he told me he was working at a coffee shop that Bob Dylan owned. And I was like, dude, I want to work there. Of course. So, I don't know how, but somehow I ended up working there, which is funny. But So I ended up working at Bob Dylan's coffee shop, and I would just hear things about Bob Dylan, like um, you know, oh, don't play Tom Waits. Bob Dylan thinks that scares away the customers, even though he likes Tom Waits, and he also didn't want people to play his music there. And sometimes some of his family members would come in, like some of his sons. I didn't see Jacob, but I saw one of the other sons. And supposedly he had a boxing gym in the back somewhere where people said Quentin Tarantino and other people came in and would box with Bob. I don't even know if it's true or not, but that's what they said. And and I was just hoping like someday I would like meet Bob, or whatever, And one day I'm working and I look out and I see Bob on the patio area, and he's with some other guy. I think it might have been like an interview because he was talking and talking, and how I think he was smoking a cigarette. Anyway, so I kind of looked at him, and he saw me looking at him. I mean, I was kind of like, oh my god, it's him. And then like later on, he came in and he came up to me, and he goes, "How you doing?" And he shook my hand, and I go, "Oh, it's great to meet you," this and that. And I don't remember. We didn't talk that long, and then he kind of disappeared. And then my friend was like, "Dude, that's so crazy. He never does that to anybody. That's like you must be like super lucky or something." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was kind of cool, because you hear a lot of people say that he's very elusive and all that. But anyway, so I was like, "Oh my god, I finally met Bob." But it was like I don't even know if I told him my name or. But and then like there was another time where there was a manager lady who worked for him, and I think she was like his some kind of business partner of his too. I think she was pretty close with him, right? So but she also managed a cafe, and there was a lady that came in and wanted to put her flyer on there's like a billboard kind of by the restrooms. And I was like, okay, I got to ask Kathy, you know. Oh, I didn't mean to say her name, but that was her name. So I was going to go look for her, and then I turn around, and Bob is right there. And I go, Bob, do you know where Kathy is? All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like talking to Bob Dylan. But I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool because I actually had something constructive to say, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, there's a lady that wants to put a flyer up, and I want to ask her for permission. And he goes, oh, she's back there. And he pointed at these like back offices where we're not really supposed to go, the employees. And I go, oh, I thought we weren't really supposed to go back there. And he's like, no, you can go back there. So he was like giving me permission to go back to these offices where I thought we weren't supposed to go. He's like, nah, you can go back there, right? So, I mean, he was like being cool to me, you know what I mean? I was like, wow, that's cool. So then I found a lady, and I was like asking her about the flyers and stuff like that. And um, then Bob disappeared again, right? And then another time I had this book with me called, it was Baltasar Gracian, Art of Worldly Wisdom, but I used a lot of it for writing lyrics and stuff and ideas down on some of the pages. And one time I was working behind the coffee. I was making some coffee, and I looked over, and Bob he was with this lady, but he started looking at he was kind of like looking at the book, and it looked like he was looking at one of the pages where my lyrics were. And I was like, oh my God, I want to talk to him about that. Wow, that's cool. And I kind of waved at him, and then I was gonna go talk to him, and then he was gone, right? And that was the last time I ever saw him. And so, and then I left that job probably like a month later. But I wish I'd talked to Bob more, but that's my little Bob story. So I think that he didn't want people to know about this coffee shop too, but then it was published in a biography. So that's why I never really talked about it before out of respect. But now that it's in a book, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And also, I'm not going to say the name of the coffee shop or exactly where it was. But anyway, that's my little Bob story. If he wants me to take it down, I will. But I don't know. It was cool meeting you, Bob. If you see this, I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you more. Also, I know your friend Louie. I know. Anyway, I'm friends with his son, who you know. So anyway, man, it would have been cool to talk to Bob more. But that's my little Bob story.